We really have uncovered the collector's ultimate treasure, a 100% original Triumph Herald Survivor car from 1966.
Beautiful inside. The carpets are like brand new, the seats like brand new, the door cards are like brand new. There's not a crack on the dashboard. It's done 27,000 miles. I've got 3-year-old cars with them more than that, 2-year-old cars with them more than that.
Let's see what's in the book.
Old-fashioned logbook. And an old driving licence as well. This is full archaeology.
Normally, you might be lucky to get the last couple of years' worth of service history. Here we're going back nearly 50 years. It's that provenance that adds confidence, and confidence adds a lot of value.
John, can we fire her up and see how she sounds?
Of course.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. That's like brand new. John, I think you can probably tell the fact that me and Dave sound like two kids on Christmas morning. We really want to buy this car.
Right.
It's just down to, are you sure you'd like to sell it? Because it obviously means a lot to you. And secondly, how much money would you like for it?
Yes, I do need to get rid of it. So, I'll tell you what I want. I want £1,100 for it.
Okay. John, I'm sorry, I can't give you that amount of money for this car.
That's what I want.
I can't give you 1,100 quid for this car and drive away. Dave, pull a face if you're not happy, but I think this car is worth all day long £2,000.
£2,000?
£2,000. So would you shake my hand at that?
I'm flabbergasted. I really am.
Well, thank you.
Look at the suspension on this. Look at that.
British engineering.
The rear wheels look wonky because Triumph's engineers fitted what's called a transverse leaf spring suspension system. Basically, a bow-shaped spring that pushes down on the rear wheels. It works, but when you lift the car up, the spring tilts the wheels in. It looks odd, but on a Herald, it's normal.
They do look freaky, don't they?
This suspension setup was cheap, lightweight, and virtually never needed repairing, unlike the coil springs adopted by modern cars for handling and comfort.
Snail, we should keep that.
She's lovely, isn't she?
These days, people are actually paying for patina. They want their old cars to look old, and that's exactly what we've got. She is the rarest of the rare. An authentic Survivor car. Everything that we see here, every panel, every lick of paint, was done in the factory nearly half a century ago.
I want a little bit of grease, I think. I tell you what I'd really like to see on this car. I just want this really cleaned up and keep it original, just very, very sensitive restoration, I think. And that's all we need to do with this car.
Light restoration, except for the wheels. That's where you don't want patina, you want safety. So the rust has to go, and we need tyres that are new, but appropriate for a 1966 Triumph.
Or anything else, and leaves you with the raw metal below. There's something fantastic about freshly stripped metal.
How good do they look?
It's a shame to put paint on. To fix this down the local garage, it cost a few £100. But here, we know how to do it for pennies. We're going to cut out the sections that have rusted up, give the area a good clean, then replicate the parts from sheet metal. To do this, you need an angle grinder and a hammer. A big, beautiful hammer.
Herald rolled out to the factory on cross-ply tyres, which are now rarely used. The name cross-ply refers to the layers of rubberized fabric laid at angles along the tyre to give it strength. Now, cross-plies were okay on vintage motors plodding along country roads. But as soon as cars got more powerful, the lack of integral strength beneath the tread caused the tyre to deform, which could put the car into a spin. So boffins developed a new tyre, the radial.
Here are models of similar cars with different types of tyre. One model skids and the other doesn't.
So what these clever chaps had done was to insert a steel belt beneath the tread, giving it much more strength and greater grip.
Again, one car skids.
It's designed. It's a brand new tyre. Especially as well. It's absolutely spot on. So it's a radial, not a cross ply. So the car's going to re-handle, and they look just right, don't they?
They do. They look Boston. They do. That tread pattern's great, isn't it? The old-fashioned cellulose paint has been oxidising since 1966, which is why it looks so milky. So we're using a mildly abrasive cream to remove all the dead finish on top of the paint. When she's back to the original signal red, she gets a good polish and a good waxing. A regular waxing will preserve a car's paint by stopping dirt and grime becoming bonded to the paint. A bit more of the car polish on the plastic back window cuts through years of grime, leaving it looking as good as new. If Paul can't sell this, he needs to find another job.
Beautiful. I can't believe how that's come on. You know what? I can almost see Dave's face in it, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Looks right, doesn't it? It does. It looks really, really good. Let's have a look at it. Oh, I'm so chuffed with that.
I doubt there's another Herald in this condition with this provenance outside of a museum, and we spent £1,500 on parts. Now I think it's worth every penny of £6,000, giving us a potential profit of £2,500. Dave's done his bit, so now I've got to sell it for the best possible price. So I've swung us a spot at the biggest Standard Triumph event of the year, held at the home of British motorsport, Brooklands. All the Triumph aficionados gathered in one spot to buy, sell, and just admire.
This place is immense.
There's everything from standards to stacks, along with the rarest of the rare, like this one-off prototype 2-litre 6-cylinder Triumph Fury, which was designed by, you've guessed it, that sexy, glamorous Italian Giovanni Michelotti, just like our little Herald.
There you go.
Set the other side.
Don't force it.
I'm not forcing it. I'm being very gentle. That's better.
Oh, you see that looks so natural, doesn't it?
You look absolutely brilliant in there.
Yeah, that's definitely a look for you, that.
To get top money, I've got to capture the imagination, get people to see how good life could be with this car.
Well, tell you what we could do. As we're at Brooklands and we've got one of the best hill climbs in the UK, why don't I take us all up the hill, and if you like the way it drives, you can buy it at the end.
This is the site of the world's first purpose-built racing track. And in 1909, they added a hill climb to test out their motors. Enthusiasts have been powering up